Hey everybody, welcome to episode 18 of the Going Ballistic podcast. Once again, you're listening to me talk to you in my truck. I did that last podcast and it seemed like I got some good feedback from it, so thanks for reaching out, everybody. I kind of had to make you the deal. If you guys want the podcasts, you gotta be able to help me work around my schedule, and that means driving back from teaching is the way to do it. So I'll keep it up, maybe. We'll see. 2 weeks in a row isn't bad, so I apologize about the road noise, but I'm doing the best I can. So I was actually just teaching tonight. I mentioned last podcast also I teach constitutional law at the University of Alabama in Huntsville, and this is actually a public law and policy class, and tonight was a fun time because we got to talk about the Second Amendment. So normally it's a lot of the other protections against our rights in the Bill of Rights, and tonight was a Second Amendment lecture. It was fun. We went all over the place, from back at USV Miller and early National Firearms Act and what counts as arms, and I don't know, I just really enjoy it. I'm able to actually argue both sides of the issue, which I implore you guys to do yourself. I think I can argue for gun control almost as well as I can argue against it, and that's not my personal opinion that I agree with it, but I'm a strong believer that if you're truly going to have an opinion on something and you want to be effective in being able to either persuade people or debate people, or at least even just reinforce your opinion, just be sure that what you believe is really what you believe, be better grounded in your stance, is to actually take the other side. And you feel a certain way on an issue. I believe I'm against gun control. Well, take the stance for gun control and figure out every possible argument for it, and that's the best way to figure out every argument against it. Figure out what they're going to say and defeat it. Or, who knows, you might have your opinion swayed. I hope not, but maybe you would. So anyway, it's a good exercise, and it was fun with the students tonight to talk to them about that. Not making near as much progress on my follow-up book as I want to be. I apologize, everybody. I get multiple emails a day from fans, and I love it, and I respond to every single one of you. So if I haven't responded to you, don't take it personal. That just means I accidentally missed you. I try to do my best, but between my day job and everything else I got going on, and family time and stuff, it's hard sometimes. But I try to respond to everyone's questions. If you guys write in with a nice note, I appreciate it. But I probably get asked once per day, maybe twice per day, when the advanced book's coming. Guys, man, if I was doing nothing but writing the book, of course I'd have it done by now. I apologize. A great number of you have already pre-ordered the book, which I appreciate. You can pre-order it on kleckner.co. That's .co. On that website is where I'm selling, doing pre-orders for my rifles soon. I'm actually selling some components on there currently, which I haven't pushed it that much. I've announced some of the stuff on Facebook or shared a couple links here and there, and I can't believe how many of you guys are buying some of the stuff, which I really appreciate. It's great. It keeps things going. But I'm only selling equipment I believe in. So I'm selling the minimalist shooting mat by a ranger buddy of mine. Actually, the ranger that took my spot in the sniper section after I left. So the guy that succeeded my position actually makes these, and I love selling them for him, and I think it's a great product. I sell my books on that website. Again, that's where the rifles will be. I'm thinking I'm going to migrate the podcast pages over there too, just so I can have everyone come to one source. But don't worry about it. If you have the other website for goingballisticpodcast.com bookmarked or anything, I will forward it over. So any links you possibly have will automatically jump to the new website, so don't worry about that. I mentioned the Trigger Tech triggers last week, and you guys have really taken to those things, which I'm glad, by the way. I've had a few more conversations with the company, and these guys are awesome. They say about kind of funny because they're Canadian. So every conversation I've had with them so far, somehow the word about has come up a few times in the conversation, which I try not to laugh at because I'm sure I say something funny to them. But the about what they're working on for their triggers, but it's good guys. Amazing product. They're dominating. I kind of feel bad for the other trigger manufacturers now. I used to always get asked, Timney or Jewel or which one for how. Now it's not even close. So Jason had called me. For those of you that have listened to earlier podcasts, you'll know Jason, my cousin from the show. he was calling me about an option he had to purchase a rifle. When I was with Remington, we had a few friends and family deals that were just some smoking deals. And some of them got passed along, and then one of his buddies was considering not having the rifle anymore and maybe selling it to Jason for the good deal. And so Jason was wondering whether he should do it, because Jason's clearly been bitten by the long-range bug now. I've spoiled his taste in firearms. He's not quite to my level of snobbery yet on some things, but he's getting there. And I know he wants to get into precision bolt gun work now that he's seen how fun it is with the precision AR. And so he's asking me if he should get it, and the rifle he's looking at was the SPS Tactical. And, well, first off, let me tell you why I'm telling you about this. I've been trying to teach a new lesson or a new part about long-range shooting so far in the podcast. And the problem is, one, I'm going to run out of lessons or have to start repeating myself more than I normally do. Or two, I'm getting to the point now where it's hard to talk about it without showing some visual aids. You know, or I guess even the third one is I don't want to give my books away, right? I mean, I do the podcast to help build a fan base and to help support you guys and to turn more people onto shooting. But selfishly, I do it to sell books, right? And I hope to do it to sell rifles someday. So the reason I'm giving free podcasts out is I'm treating this as advertisement for my book. So the fact that you guys have helped spread the word about the podcast, I appreciate so much. The numbers for the podcast these last few months have just skyrocketed. I don't know why. You guys must be telling your friends about it, which I obviously appreciate. But I appreciate it not because I just want a bunch of people listening to me ramble. I want it because I want to be able to sell more books and raise more money. The past couple checks I think I already mentioned to the charities were big checks. I don't regret giving 25% to charities, but maybe I thought about it once or twice about, man, this was a lot better idea before I sold so many copies. So I'm glad that we're able to support the charities. They're thankful too. I got an awesome handwritten note from the Special Operations Warrior Foundation from the Admiral about being able to help out with the casualties that we had in Yemen recently. And man, that just made it hit like to home real with all, you know, that being in the news lately and being like, wow, you guys actually helped that, and I was able to help you guys help that by passing your money along. Just it's freaking cool. So I appreciate it. So yeah, don't forget, the podcast is really a commercial for my books and eventually my rifles. But Jason, as we're talking about this rifle, said, why don't you talk about this in the podcast? And I laughed and said, well, honestly, because I figure it's too simple. You guys already know all this stuff. And he said you didn't. He said this is the kind of thing that you guys might want to hear. So I'll ask you feedback again. If this is what you want to hear too, let me know. I'll just kind of shoot the crap with you guys about regular gun stuff too. So the SPS Tactical, Remington 700 SPS Tactical is the rifle that Jason was looking at getting. Now that gun is actually a really good base platform workhorse if you want a Remington 700. Anymore, unfortunately, I don't really recommend them as much. I mean, there's definitely a fit for them. They definitely are still a great platform. They're definitely still the best when it comes to aftermarket accessories and parts. I mean, the Remington 700 is clearly iconic for a reason. However, it's a old design, and being careful, the quality hasn't gone up. I'll say it that way. The quality hasn't gotten better. I mean, my father's old Remington 700 from when he was my age that he's passed down to me is a supremely better, higher quality rifle than a newer 700 that I have. So if you're looking for super high quality, if you're looking to have a project gun that you really want to turn into something great, you can actually start in other places. You guys have heard me just gush over the Tikkas. I love those things. You cannot beat a Tikka right now. If you want to buy American, I get it. But if you want the hands down best value for the money, it's not even close. I actually had someone asking me recently what I recommended. I told them the Tikka, and they came back and said, well, yeah, but what about for this purpose? I said the Tikka. And they even said, well, what do you like your top three? And I wrote back, Tikka, Tikka, Tikka. I don't get paid for them. Matter of fact, I don't even sell them. Maybe I should. You know what? I'm going to start putting some Tikkas up on Kleckner.co. So you want a Tikka, come buy it from me and help put some wind in the sails of my ship to keep everything going. I'd appreciate it. I might as well for how much I recommend them. The reason I recommend them so much is, I'm not kidding, they are just as good or better than rifles that are double their cost. The bolts are glass, the triggers are amazing, the accuracy is, it's ridiculous. The accuracy is so good, it makes you wonder why you're even getting a custom rifle anyway. I mean, I've actually thought more than once, why in the world am I going to be building custom rifles that are just going to be obscenely expensive because I'm using the absolute best components, best processes. I mean, the ultimate of a gourmet sniper rifle or precision rifle is what I'm building. And I keep wondering why, when you can, for just under $1,000, get the best possible package you can ever get out of the Tikkas. I mean, I guess it'll still be nice to have it customized and there'll still be some better features, but guys, you've got to check them out. They just work, especially if you just want a hunting rifle that's going to be also used for some accurate shooting. I mean, go buy a $500 Tikka and call it done. So anyway, trying to talk people into those, but an SPS Tactical is a great workhorse for the Remington 700. When I was teaching out at the sniper school out in Phoenix, the rifles that we used as the school guns actually started life as SPS Tacticals. The first thing we did was yanked the stock off. So I will say something bad about that rifle. That stock is crap. I mean, that stock might as well just be part of the cardboard box. It is so bad. They're aware it's bad. Everyone has told me it's bad. I've told everyone it's bad. Everyone gets it. It's not a secret to anybody. It is such a disservice to that rifle. It would be nicer if they shipped it without the stock altogether. I'm not kidding. The stock is that bad, okay? It is so flexible. It might as well be, I told Jason, it's like having the action and barrel bolted to a gummy bear. It's just ridiculous. Take the stock off and replace it, okay? Don't even go out and try and shoot it with the stock. I'm the belief it's bad enough that you're going to have bad enough results, you're going to get frustrated with it, that you can't even do your job with it. So what we do is we take the stock off and throw it away. We also then, at the time, would adjust the triggers, because the factory trigger could be adjustable. But now that the X-Mark Pro and the variations they have the X-Mark Pro, I'm sorry to say it too, that trigger not going to get the results you want. Now, Jason thought I was just being maybe a little bit of a snob on there, but I had to remind him that when I turned him on to like a Geisley trigger, how much his mind was blown, how much better the shooting experience was than having a stock AR-15 trigger. And so that's the analogy I gave. When he's like, well, it's adjustable. No, it's not. It's got an adjustment screw, but it's not going to adjust for anything. It's no. Matter of fact, who knows if his is even under the second or third recall of the triggers. So no. Take the trigger off too. Unfortunately, it's a waste of money and materials, but the trigger and stock got to come off. Throw a Trigger Tech trigger on it for what, $120, I think, on my website for a trigger. You get the best trigger you could possibly get for that price. Just do it. You'll be done with it. You can get the curved or the straight trigger, depending on what option you want. And then for a stock, you don't need to go a super high-end Manners, glass-bedded stock. Go get yourself a Magpul stock. Those things are awesome. Those are budget-minded, much more rigid, much more user-friendly for shooting. Stocks with a big bedding block inside of it. You can do the detachable magazines. I mean, that's the way to go to start off. And if you ever want to upgrade someday, you can probably get your money back out of the stock, or at least close to it. So we would actually throw them for the school. We would do the trigger job on them. We would actually have the lugs squared up a little. We did a little gunsmith work to them, not much, and then put them in an HS Precision stock, or later, a Manor stock. And just that SPS Tactical with a little bit extra work done to it would serve as a great sniper rifle rental gun that was used all day, every day, in and out of every course. Just drug through the dirt out in Arizona with the students, and cleaned and shot, and just, they're amazing, amazing guns. You do a little bit of work to them, especially some of the stock work, making sure it's in a good stock, a decent trigger, things like that. You can easily get a minute-of-angle gun out of them with good ammo, and for a lot of people, that's a great place to start. And then the accessories you bought to bolt onto it, keep the stock trigger and the factory stock if you want, and later when you want to upgrade, just sell the thing. Put the factory stuff back on, use your upgraded stock and upgraded trigger on the next gun, and go from there. So don't be discouraged about getting one, especially if you get I think it's the AAC SPS Tactical, because it comes with a threaded barrel already. What a great platform to start off with. You'll be happy with it until you're ready to upgrade for something else. So, there you go. I just ranted and rambled about what gun you should get. I hope that's helpful. If you guys want to hear that, there you go. The other thing we talked to Jason about is he asked me what weight bullets he should use for long range, and I thought it was a weird question because it was another thing I took for granted. I said, well, 168s or 175. And the answer is, if you're shooting groups, 168s for some reason, across the board, in most rifles and most experience I've had, for some reason, the 168 grains just group better. So if you're trying to shoot pretty groups at 100 yards, get the 168 grainers. If you're trying to shoot at long range, you shoot the 175s. That slight amount heavier, the 7 grains heavier of a bullet, not much, makes all the difference in the world when you're shooting long range. I mean, a 175 grain bullet at 900 yards is just a lot easier to shoot with wind and with staying on target than that 168 is. So if you're going to pick one, pick the 175. I mean, that's what we shot in the military, is they just issued us 175 grain bullets. And I bring this up because Jason thought that was really heavy. I guess he's thinking about, the lighter weight hunting bullets, but that's why I'm bringing it up, in case you didn't think about it either. But 175 grain bullets for the 308, just awesome. Just a great all-around accurate bullet. You'll get with, let's say, Federal Gold Medal matched factory ammo, you'll get about 1 minute of angle, or just barely under 1 minute of angle out of an SPS Tactical with a little bit of accuracy work done to it. Now, your bolt's not going to be smooth. Again, you're going to have to upgrade some of the not-so-great parts on it. And if, a lemon snuck through QC or something, maybe you'll have the exception. But it'll be a fine gun for you to work with, especially if the barrel gets broken in a little bit. And I guess that brings me to the next point, is I've had a bunch of emails about barrel break-in and what I believe. I mean, I don't know. I propose to think I know what I'm talking about in the book and what I experienced and what I've used, but I don't know what the right answer is. All the professional gun barrel makers that know way more than me about a gun barrel say it's a waste of time. You buy a quality barrel, it's already done for you. Now, if you're getting like a factory Remington 700 barrel, no, it's not going to be all polished and smooth inside. Matter of fact, some of them, even any factory gun, is going to be rough. I mean, so rough you can feel the patch drag on the barrel on the inside. Well, those barrels, yeah, they're going to need broken in, because those are just kind of factory barrels. So what's going to happen is you're going to notice a lot of copper fouling at the beginning, because it's rough and it's rubbing the copper off. And as time goes on, as you shoot more and more, it's going to make the barrel smoother and smoother, and you might get some better accuracy out of it. It'll start to settle itself in. So that's not horrible, but as far as any method, I don't know. Shoot one round clean for the first 10. I'm just kind of making that up because that's what a lot of people say. I don't think there's any magic to it. Just shoot your gun. If you start having accuracy issues, clean it, take care of it, and eventually it's going to work itself in. There's no magic sniper fairy dust that you're going to be able to sprinkle over your gun that's all of a sudden going to make you better. I think all these questions honestly come down to bad performance. To get completely on a segue here, I was watching an advertisement for Masterclass. It's a website or a company that's taking people that are like number one in their field and having them teach a class. And they had Steve Martin teaches comedy, and they were showing the demo video for the Masterclass for him. And he started off by saying, I get asked by a lot of young actors, how do I get an agent, or how do I get my good headshots, or how do I get my resume done? And he said, shouldn't you be wondering about how first to be good? Well, that really resonated with me with a lot of the questions I get, is folks are asking like barrel break-in and what ring should I get for this, and what's the best ballistic coefficient bullet for here. And you know what? I mean, maybe some of you are at that point yet, but some of you aren't. Maybe you should worry about just go and get good first, right? I mean, take any rifle. Man, I'd love it if you took a rifle with iron sights that we had to really work on fundamentals. I mean, just a 22 with iron sights and go sit at 50 yards and just get good. Then worry about the minutia that's really going to matter, and stop chasing, the iPhone software that you think is going to make you a better shooter, because it's not. People talk about what wind meter should I use, or what laser rangefinder should I use. I mean, this is horrible to admit, but I don't own a wind meter or a laser rangefinder. I should. I've been meaning to buy one. I just either borrow other people's, or I get by without it, or I mill, or I'm not saying you don't need one at all to shoot. I'm just saying it's not what makes you necessarily better at shooting. It's a tool that can help a good shooter, do their job better, but it's not going to make you better at shooting. And if you just chase all this minutia, man, I don't even know why shooting would be fun anymore. I don't like it when I have to pack so much crap to go to the range already. let alone to worry about all that kind of stuff. So barrel break-in, I don't know, break your barrel in. It's going to get broken in the more you shoot and the more you clean it. Just take care of it and you'll be fine. So I hope that helps. If you guys are waiting on my rifles, good news is my AR-15s are a couple months out. I'm waiting on some last paperwork from the ATF, and I have all the components ready to go for my hydrogen rifles, is what I'm calling them. So it's the Kleckner Rifle Company, or Kleckner Rifles, and the AR-15 that is going to be my heavier duty AR-15. So it's the not only the precision model, which is like an SPR, but also the quote-unquote assaulter, or like the 3-gun competition model that I'm coming out with. They're all going to be what's called hydrogen. That's just what I thought was the cool name for them. So it's going to be hydrogen precision, or hydrogen carbine, or hydrogen competition. Those are going to be the 3 there. And then I'm coming out with an ultralight set of AR-15s too, and those are going to be the heliums. So those are going to be the helium line of lightweight rifles. And then my bolt guns, the precision, the heavier duty tactical, are going to be the nitrogens. And then the lightweight version for hunting are going to be the oxygens. So I don't know if you can see what I did there. There's all my elements, and that's why it ties into the carbon ring, which is the kind of the chemical elements of the carbon together, the 6-sided ring for the Kleckner logo for the C. That's where that kind of comes from, is the science tie-in. So I have the 4 elemental rifles. It's going to be the hydrogen and the helium for the AR-15s, the nitrogen and oxygen for the bolt guns. Bolt guns are a little further out. I've got a little bit of a supply issue, but it's working itself out. They're going to be awesome. I'm way more excited than I ever was about the bolt guns, how nice they're going to be. Yeah. I wish I could show you guys a picture, so I can't wait to get the first one put together and start testing it out, like I've been doing with the AR-15s, getting the AR-15s done. So maybe I'll put the AR-15s up, get some pictures soon, and start taking pre-orders for those if you guys are interested. I'm sorry, they're going to be pricey. The best thing I can tell you is you don't want one. I mean, really, if you truly want one, get one. But I'm not going to sell one to you or try and sell you on it. Matter of fact, I will go out of my way to tell you what AR-15 will probably be better for you than one of mine. I'm going to be the anti-salesman, because I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying you got to buy this extremely high-end rifle just to be a good shooter, because it's not true. I'll be more than happy to get you a regular everyday driver type, or just good quality AR-15. I will happily point you to somebody else's so you can be way happier with it. I mean, you don't need hand lead lapped barrels like I'm doing on mine. You don't need cryogenically frozen barrels. You don't need the care that's done for truing the upper receivers. I'm going to the absurd level to make the most gourmet rifle I can for the people that really want one. And it's okay if it's not you. I won't take offense to it. So that's what I'm going to make. And the part of the reason is I don't have the time right now to be making or selling rifles all day. So if I only sell a couple here and there, great. If I get a chance to show them to you, ever get a chance to see one or shoot one, and you want to support me, awesome. I love the support. So, speaking of nice rifles, last thing to tell you is I have some of the Q's, the fixed rifles. If you guys don't know about Q LLC, their website is Live Q or Die. They are killing it. I'm loving what they're doing. I mean, when they first formed, I will admit, I honestly thought, oh, great, what are they going to do? Good for them. They're going to be some think tank and be super edgy and cool and whatever. They're going to come out with something like everybody else. Holy crap, I was wrong. Everything they've come out with has blown me away, is the best in its class. I can't say enough about it. I love it so much. The second they opened up their rifles for pre-order, I immediately called them up and begged to get on the early list because of some friendships I have there, and got on there. And so I have a few of them offered for pre-sale on my website, Kleckner.co. That rifle's so freaking cool. That's another one that made me doubt, why am I building my own rifles? Because this thing is so awesome, and it's so much less expensive than mine are going to be. It's amazing. They're using Bartline barrels chambered by Dave Tooley. He's like the industry master for chambering barrels. The best barrel you can get, chambered by the best guy you can get, on a one-piece receiver. So it's not like a regular bolt gun receiver bolted into a chassis. It's all one piece, with a bolt throw that's a really short angle bolt throw, so it's super quick to run the bolt. Amazing trigger with a folding stock, with a kind of like an AR-15 kind of rail. The only thing I don't like about it is the pistol grip. As if you guys read my book, you know I don't like pistol grip chassis. But this rifle is as sexy as a rifle can possibly get. So short, quick bolt throw, amazing trigger. The bolt has like a big shroud, I guess is the best way to call it, on the back of the bolt that runs on rails on the receiver, kind of like a pistol slide. So there's no bolt binding. It's just freaking cool. It takes, Magpul magazines. They come in 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor. The 308 is a sub 6-pound bolt gun. It doesn't get any cooler than that. And if you tried to put those into a custom rifle, so let's say you came to me or you came to any other custom rifle builder and said, hey, I want a Bartline barrel chambered by Dave Tooley. Well, first off, you couldn't do it because they would want to do it, but chambered like the best you can do on a custom receiver, which no one out there makes a short bolt throw like they do with the bolt handle down so low so it's easy to grab and run. But even if you could, the best receiver you can get, which isn't as good as this one, I don't think, for its purpose, is going to be what, $1,300, $1,500? Then a Bartline barrel with a master chamber and put on is going to be another $1,000. You're at $2,500 already, and then you're going to put it into a Manor stock, which is another $1,000, $3,500. Then glass bed it, and then a trigger. I mean, what, $3,500, $4,000? And then base. I mean, the price is going to get crazy really quick. And this thing at retail is $27.95. I don't get it. It's cool as can be. I will admit, one of the 308s and one of the 6.5s coming in are for me. I bought a chunk of them. I threw down a bunch of cash for me to get these things in, to get on the early list, to make sure and snag them, and I think I have 2 left. You guys are already plopping down full cash up front just to get on them, and you're smart because these things are awesome. The Q company, the QLC, has promised me I'm on the first list to get them out because they're trying to square me away. So you want them, get them. Matter of fact, I have them on collector.co not only for sale but for back order when I run out. If you want back order one, I'll just call Q and tell them throw me some more my way. I'd really appreciate the support if you want, just for getting more done there. So go check out those rifles. Go check out the Trigger Tech triggers I got on my website. Go tell people about my book. I appreciate the support. Tell people about the podcast. Keep the questions coming in. I'm trying to respond to everybody. You guys are awesome. Seriously, I appreciate everything you guys have done. I never could have imagined that a year ago, I guess I kind of really started all this, that I would have so much support and a network and people following along, and without trying to get all mushy on you guys, man, I appreciate it. So until next time, this is Ryan with the Going Ballistic podcast. Take care.